All right, let's do it. Hello and welcome to Do Go
Hey Dave,
On.
I think on this episode I might kick it off if that's okay with you. And welcome to Do Flomlot. Oh no, back to you. Sorry about
Back to me. Do Go On. My name is Dave Warnicky. You've already heard from Matt Stewart stuffing up the intro there. Hello, Matt.
And welcome to Do Go Home.
Oh, great. Good
Home.
picking up there. And Jess Perkins, been a while since you've done your own intro, but want to have a crack?
Okay, you know I don't like it when you put me on the spot, but okay, here it goes. I just want to say I haven't had time to rehearse, and it's cold, so my voice isn't really warmed up, and
Not as easy as I make it sound
honestly,
every
I
week,
had
is
a
it?
long day, but here we go. Okay, De Flim gone. De Flim gone.
Right, I'm going to grab the reins back off both of you.
Yes,
Hello, it
please.
is time to Do Go On with us, Dave, Matt and Jess.
Your face is creepy right now.
Hey everybody, welcome to Do Go On.
Do-
I'm your host, Matt Stewart.
I'm your other hostess, Perkins.
Right, I'm going to call an end to this straight away and ask how you both are.
As host of
really
Do
good.
Go On, I'd like to let you know that I'm having a good time.
As a co-host of Matt's on this comedy/factual podcast, Do Go On, I'd also like to mention that I, Jessica and Elizabeth Perkins II, do also do pretty well today. Thank you for asking.
Do Go On. Back to you, Dave.
Thank you very much. I'm actually I'm scared of asking either of you to do go on at this stage because it looks like I will be carrying this episode.
Which is great, because it's my episode.
I know, it's not even me doing a report on a topic, it's Jess, it's you.
Yeah, it is me. You're welcome. You get to listen to And Then in the Summer
no.
of 1966. It's going to be great.
I cannot wait. You've prepared a report?
I have prepared a report.
Because it does sound a little bit
You've
like
repaired a report. She said the wrong word.
I did. I said
So
repaired.
good.
I repaired
You
it.
see that?
Got it. What a time to be alive.
I feel like you're stalling here, Jess. Have you actually written a report?
Yep.
Have you chosen a topic from the hat?
I have.
She's bloody dipped into the hat.
She's
Dipped
dipped.
into the hat. I was like, hey, Matt, take that hat off. I got to dip on in. And he was like, you better be quick, Jess, because it's winter and I got to put on my hat to keep my
She bloody got
head
her. She
warm.
was elbow deep in my hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you would want your hat at the moment because haircut today, Matt. Did you notice your ears were a bit colder?
Yeah, a little fresher on the ears.
Mm.
You know, in this August summer breeze. No, what's August?
We're
What
in Australia.
season are we in?
It's winter here.
Winter. August is winter. Spring happens after that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right. Very good.
September's next month, and that's springtime.
Okay.
And spring has sprung.
All right.
Is that right?
Yeah, but
That is right. But
so you're in your
September,
30s.
October,
and I'm glad that you've mastered
November,
the seasons.
spring, December.
Uh-huh.
Interestingly, that's when summer hits.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. Why would I fuck with you on this?
why
I
would
never would, Jess. Seasons are important. And if you're not going to take them seriously, well, then you can get up and fuck off. Okay? Look, I don't know. I don't even know. Like, you're giggling away in the corner there. And that says to me that you're not taking my words very seriously. And if that's the case, well, then that hurts my feelings.
I'm sorry. I will never not take the seasons seriously. I know how important the seasons are to you, and we had that big seasons party last year where everybody came dressed as their favourite season, and you had season-themed snacks.
I came as season 2 of the OC.
what a highlight. You saved that really well. You really did.
Oh, boy. We have fun here.
Oh, boy.
But anyway, back to just talking about your report.
Yes, so we always start with a question, right?
Yes.
Okay, Matt, have you got your buzzer ready?
Oh, sure.
Names of your buzzers.
Let's test the buzzers.
Nah.
Oh, that's not bad, Dave.
Dave.
Oh, his has got a bit of a run-up, which is cute. Okay, here we go. So my question to you boys is, they're
Okay.
both poised, they're ready
All
to
right,
go.
hands on buzzers.
Who is the most successful con artist?
Dave.
Matt.
Fuck.
Hang on, he might get it wrong. Don't worry.
Nicholas J. Johnson, local Melbourne con man, and all-round fun-time guy.
Okay, I have not done my report on Nicholas J. Johnson.
One
Dave.
half of Jonestown.
Dave, would you like to submit your answer?
Dave.
Okay, you didn't have to do the buzzer, but yes, Dave.
Sorry, thinking, but it's fun.
I know it is.
Dave.
Yes, Dave.
Con the fruiterer.
Con the fruiterer, an excellent answer. Incorrect.
Okay, you probably get that if you're above 30 and an Australian listener. Okay.
Which, we're not above 30 and we get it, so.
But I'm a childhood genius.
That's true. Matt.
Condoleezza Rice.
Condoleezza Rice, also a very good answer. Unfortunately, not the correct answer.
What was the question again?
Most successful con
I
artist.
can't-
Dave.
Konstantin Stanislavski. You get that if you have been to drama school.
Which, well, I didn't go to drama
Well,
school,
two
but I
of the
was
three of us
drama
have.
captain.
Do you know who
Yes.
Konstantin Stanislavski is?
Of course, I studied Stanislavski's work.
Very good. The Moscow Art Theatre. It's worthy of a report, which I might do one day.
Well, actually, that was a suggestion. Somebody has said your favourite theatre practitioner.
Oh, definitely not my favourite. But anyway, Matt.
Buzz.
Yes, Matt.
No, not your,
that wasn't
not
that
your
wasn't
buzzer, Matt.
Oh.
Come on.
Try again.
Nah.
Yes, Matt.
Thank you.
The Southern Cross. Star Constellation.
You're an
very
absolute
good.
dickhead.
Is that even a thing?
You're a dickhead.
I could not think of another
Dave.
constellation.
I genuinely don't think I know any.
Yeah, I can't think of
any
it. Apart
con
from Nicholas
artists.
J. Johnson, I don't know anyone.
Well, I wonder if this name will ring a bell. Have you heard of the work of Frank Abagnale Jr.?
Oh, that vaguely rings a bell.
Frank Abagnale.
Abagnale.
Abig.
Abag.
Abagnale.
N-A-L-E.
Frank
Abagnale.
Well,
Abagnale.
first of all, he's conned us into pronouncing his name wrong.
Oh, he's
So he's
good.
pretty
He's
good.
He
He's
is
a-
good.
he's on the
He is
ball.
good.
Have you maybe heard of the 2002 Leonardo DiCaprio film Catch Me If You Can?
Yes,
Did
I've
I-
seen it.
Yes, Dave.
Yes, I have.
Very good. Are you going to do that before every sentence?
Tom Hanks gets his man in the end, or does he? I can't remember. Spoiler alert.
I can't. So that's who the movie is based on?
That is who the movie is based on.
Oh, very cool. Because that's a cool movie that I saw at the cinema with my dad, but I haven't seen since. So it was a long time ago.
yeah,
yes,
I haven't
yeah.
seen it since, and I was thinking the other day that
I remember they were
should watch
wearing
it.
smart suits and planes were flown.
I really wanted to watch it, and then I thought, no, I'm not going to watch it before I do the report because then I'll be swayed by the film, and I'll put things in
Yeah.
to my report based on the film. And
Hollywood
it's like,
style.
yeah, and that's not, it's a film.
Hollywood
it's
has a
a
lot to
story.
answer for.
It's a great bloody story.
And what it has to answer for is the entertainment of a generation.
Thank you, Hollywood.
Now, I'm interested to know who suggested this topic.
This was suggested to us via email by Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
Excellent suggestion, Ryan.
Ryan who? Just Ryan.
Just Ryan.
Oh, very mysterious.
Almost
Ryan.
like he's some sort of con man.
Oh,
Has he got our credit card details now? Our joint, because we have pulled our
The
Obviously.
Dugoon
accounts.
credit card, obviously.
Yeah, we've pulled our accounts. Every money you make outside of the podcast, I am entitled to my third.
What do you spend the Dugo on money
Which
on?
works out well for us.
Mainly feathers.
Good.
I collect a wide array of mythical birds' feathers.
Where did you pull feathers
Mythical
from?
birds.
Mythical
feathers.
birds' feathers. I think I may have
Have
been
you
conned.
got any?
I may have been conned.
Okay.
You may have been, yeah.
One of them cost $10,000.
That's too
Wow.
many. That's too many dollars for.
I mean, even if you pulled all of our money together, I'm not sure if you're buying a $10,000 feather.
Well, speak for yourself, because I have spent the money.
Okay, great.
We're paying it off.
Oh, shit.
Oh boy. Okay. Well, in the meantime, maybe I will just tell you the story of Frank Abagnale Jr. How about that?
Yeah,
Please-
that'd be good.
Please do go on.
Good
I
solid
am.
name. I like it.
Okay.
I think because I couldn't name a con man, but I think the story. I like the idea of a con man.
Yeah. And this is quite a fascinating story too. So I think you will enjoy this one. So, raised just north of New York City in Westchester County, New York, he was born in 1948, and he was one of 4 children. His parents divorced when he was 16, and they'd kept it a secret from Frank and his siblings.
Whoa! They kept it a secret. He's
Yeah.
only 16. Is he still living with them?
Oh yeah, he's still living with them. But what I mean is like the fact that they were getting a divorce, they'd sort of kept secret. So the kids didn't really know that the parents were unhappy and going to get a divorce.
So lying runs in the family.
Exactly.
It's in the blood.
I like it.
When he was in the 10th grade, a teacher at his school took him out of class, handed him his things, and told him that one of the brothers, because it was a Catholic school, would drive him into the county centre to meet his parents. And he wasn't told what was happening, or he wasn't entirely sure where he was going, but he was assured that his parents would explain. Now, he wasn't sure where he was when he was dropped off at this big concrete building and told that his parents would meet him inside.
What the fuck?
Has he been kidnapped?
He has been kidnapped. No, he hasn't been kidnapped.
Oh, right.
No.
Okay, that's what I'm waiting for. So I can laugh. Okay, good.
There's no kidnapping. Just divorce and a family falling apart.
Oh, that's-
Surprise!
that's hilarious.
Surprise
Yeah, laugh it up.
divorce.
No, so he climbs the steps into this building and he sees a sign on the building saying family court, but admits that he didn't really know what this meant. Even at 16, he's like, I don't really know what that is.
I don't know what that is. Is this some sort of family food court?
Ooh.
Because I like baked potatoes.
But Mum loves pizza.
Pizza. And everyone's happy in a food court.
Exactly.
Little something for everyone.
Oh.
Now, he was ushered into a courtroom where he finally saw his parents standing before the judge.
This would be very confusing if you have no idea what's going on. Now,
Yeah.
suddenly in a courtroom,
Yeah.
Feels not cool
it
to
feels
me.
like some sort of
Yeah.
MTV prank show.
Yeah. And it gets kind of worse because eventually the judge sees him at the back of the room and he motions for...
Hey, come on over.
Exactly. He does exactly that. He motions for him to approach the bench, and the judge. He's Frank in his recollection of this sort of says that he remembers the judge not really looking at him, not really acknowledging that he was there. He was standing between his parents. And eventually, the judge is just reading from his papers and said that Frank's parents were getting divorced, and because he was only 16, he'd need to tell the court which parent he would want to live with.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, this is like the opposite of Sophie's Choice.
Yeah,
Except
Frank's
a
choice.
lot less death. But anyway.
but you still have to pick a favourite.
Yeah.
Is that the opposite of Sophie's Choice?
No.
Yeah, but a kid picking a parent rather than a parent picking a child.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. I see where you
The
were going.
opposite would be a kid not picking a parent.
Or a kid not
Yeah,
not
that's good. Now we're
picking
getting
a-
closer.
Oh boy.
Oh,
All right.
boy. So he's picking...
Yeah, so they're like, all right, well, pick who you want to live with. Now he starts to cry, obviously, and he ran out of the courtroom, so the judge calls for a 10-minute recess. But by the time Frank's parents got to the lobby, he was gone.
He was gone. He's
he
left
just
the food court.
He ran from the food court.
Oh my god, did he even finish
court.
his baked potato?
Didn't finish his baked potato. He couldn't eat. He was sick to the stomach. Can't
Sick.
eat.
God.
And you know he loves
Baked
baked
potatoes.
potatoes.
I reckon
I
his
love
dad
him
probably
too.
finished it off.
Probably. Dads do that.
No, the judge said, look, you can't pick. You're going to have to wait till he comes back. He'll pick which parent he wants to finish this
Yeah,
baked
yeah.
potato.
How do you have your baked potato?
All right, I'm talking baked potato.
Yep.
Microwave first. Then I put it butter and salt, then into the oven to crisp it up. Then carve it into 4. Butter, cheese, sour cream,
Yes.
guacamole,
Yes.
a little bit of salsa.
Yes.
You're in Potato Town.
Oh, you've done it.
Population, starch.
Yeah. That sounds great to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think, at the very minimum, you want your butter and your sour cream. I think they're your classic, right?
I would say cheese before sour cream. I love cheese.
I mean, I love cheese too, but sour cream's a must on a baked potato.
Agreed.
And then, if you can, get your hands on some guac.
Oh, mama.
I mean, all bets are off.
And then if you've got guac and you can add a little bit of salsa.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh my god. And the question is, why has he left the food court if he's got this?
Because
Well, this
Oh, the
was-
divorce. Sorry, I
yeah.
forgot that
The
bit.
divorce, yeah.
Forgot the bitter divorce.
The
And the
divorce.
choice.
So his parents rush out to the lobby, but he's gone. He's long gone. Now his mother Paulette didn't see him after that for about 7 years.
Whoa, Paulette.
Paulette.
Didn't see him for 7 years.
He just took off.
That is a horrible name.
I would not pick her. What's the dad's name?
Frank Senior.
Oh, I'd
Oh,
pick
that
him
makes sense. Yeah,
every
I'd go
day.
Frank Senior.
Yeah.
But
Paulette.
it's interesting that you say that because Frank Senior never saw or spoke to his son again. So he's 16. He's run away from home basically. Hit the road, Frank.
That's amazing. That is
To never see,
like from you go to school just like, all right, normal day. Here we go.
not knowing that's the last
Go to
day
the
you'll-
grey building. Okay, all right. Running away. Like just out of nowhere.
Yep.
What a bloody, oh, jeez.
It's pretty intense, right?
Oh, tell you what.
Jeez Louise.
You know.
Oh.
Oh, mama.
So he gathered a few of his things and he bolted. He caught a train into New York City, and he'd previously made deliveries for his dad's stationery business, so he knew the city pretty well. So he decided he would find some similar work within the city.
Because he knew pens. He's a pen guy.
No, but just like the delivery and he knows the city, so he can maneuver his way around.
Has
Pretty
he
well.
got money? Can he... Because I imagine at 16,
Well,
if
that's
I'd
why
run
he's-
away, I would have been like, oh, it would get to dinner time and I would have run out of money
Well,
and food.
That's why he's getting a job.
Oh, see,
He's a smart
16-year-old me would not work.
No, I think.
Even if I was starving.
Did you have a job at 16?
Absolutely not.
When did you have your first job?
About 19.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
What were you doing?
I played in a band. I thought that was going to be my life.
Oh my god, I forgot you played in a band.
Like,
You still haven't
properly.
really had a job, have you? I mean, you've worked for a trivia company,
I've worked as a kids' party entertainer.
Yeah, he was a party entertainer.
I've worked
TV show.
He was
as
in
a
a
comedian.
band.
Yeah, made a bit of money being in a band.
You've
Like,
never
did
had
you
a real
make enough
job.
money in the band just to like feed yourself and survive?
No, not
Yeah,
making any
okay,
money.
great.
But I was hoping that one day it was kind of a trade-off. Like, Mum and Dad, I'm not working now, but in 10 years, I'll be a multi-millionaire and I'll pay you back in one lump sum.
Exactly. I'll buy you a jet.
They were keeping tabs. I owe them $28 million
Wow.
plus interest. I know, they were really forking out for me.
And what were you buying?
Mainly feathers.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair enough.
I had a job when I was 12. I've had a job ever since I was 12.
What were you doing at 12?
That's
Paper round.
illegal.
Paper round.
Paper round.
Is that legal? Oh no, this was the 1920s, so I guess it was legal.
You
You had a mortgage by then.
Matt Stewart, the prospector.
Paper round, and then I went when I was 14, 9 months. Got a job at a supermarket, trolley boy.
And you were there for like,
Was there for 9 years.
that's too long.
9 years.
Yeah.
My God.
I got a job at 14, 9 months.
What were you doing at that age?
My first job was at Toys R Us.
That sounds fun. I bet it
not a-
wasn't.
that's
Right?
not a
It
real
was
job.
horrendous.
Oh, really?
What did you have to do? Pat the giraffe?
Yeah, I had to pat the giraffe.
Is his name Harold or is that just the life
No,
ed
that's
van?
the Life Ed van.
I don't want to grow up. Don't want to grow up. I want to be a Toys R Us kid. That
See,
would play
I mean,
constantly.
you didn't
What
get
did you
to
do? Were you in
play
the
with
shops?
toys?
Yeah, well, I
Was
was
your
like
job
stocking
toy
the
tester?
shelves. But
Stocking the shelves.
But my manager, who was probably only my age now, like he would have been early to mid 20s, was just an absolute arse. He was at the worst. And they would put me and this other 15-year-old on from the 9 p.m. to midnight shift. It just made no sense. So then my dad would have to drive to pick me up
Oh,
from
now,
a busy shopping
now
centre.
your dad's working for Toys R Us.
I know, sorry, Dad.
It's from the bloody books.
That
They'll,
was a shitty job. But yeah, I was working at 15. So Frank's doing the same and he's getting a job. He's going to...
Well, so you two can relate to him, but I cannot.
It seems weird when the guy, your old boss. So how I don't understand. How is some young guy an asshole? It seems so weird.
Have you not met people your own age that are assholes?
Have you not
Yeah,
met
but it just
people? I
seemed
thought
like-
you
Yeah.
were going to say.
Well, there's that too.
But whenever
not met
if you're
I've met kids that are assholes.
but you're dealing with a 15-year-old.
Yeah.
Why would you be an asshole?
An asshole is an asshole,
I've met
Matt.
a cat that's an asshole.
Yeah, there's...
I'm not working for no cat.
Oh, that's a good point.
I refuse.
Unless
Fair point.
he can offer my band a really big contract because I need to pay my parents back.
You
What was
need
your
at
band
least
called
20.
again?
I've had many. First band was called Weed Hornet.
That's
Weed
great.
Hornet. Named after a whippersnapper in the garage where we practiced.
Yeah.
What's that? We didn't get rich.
Weed Hornet. That
Strange.
is
Cut down
yeah,
before our prime.
That is a
Hmm.
good name.
My band, I was also in a band. Did you know that?
Yeah, probably.
Neither of you seem that shocked.
No, I feel like
You've told me
I think
before.
I think
Oh,
we
yeah.
might have talked about it before.
I was in a band called Cause of Distraction.
Yes, that's right.
Cause of distraction.
Yeah.
I feel like we talked about it maybe.
Is that
Beatles
because that's-
episode.
Yeah, maybe.
Is
yeah.
that because that's how your parents described it? It's distracting you from your Toys R Us job.
Yeah, come on, Jess. Career prospects. Kid.
Come on.
All right.
Climb that Toys R Us ladder?
Climb that giraffe's
London,
neck.
I worked there for one Christmas and I left. Anyway, so Frank. We're back to Frank. Frank's looking for a bit of work, doing some delivery, stock boy, that sort of thing.
Great.
So he found work. He found it pretty easily because he did have the experience, but he soon realised he wouldn't be able to support himself on that amount of money because he realised that as long as people believed he was 16, they'd pay him as a 16-year-old, obviously.
Ah, well, that does make sense.
But even at his young age, he was already 6 foot tall. He'd always looked older than his peers. So he
I
decided,
cannot relate to this guy at all. I just cannot.
can you even grow a beard?
Still not. Turning 26 next month. Or this month.
Soon.
Very soon. Oh my God.
We're having our 26th soon.
Do you think that
It's hard to say.
if you get to 26 and you can't grow a beard, by the time I'm 50, will it happen or is it just not
Nah, I
happening?
think
it's
you're
gone
done.
now.
Yeah, I think you're
that's
done.
it.
Can I have some sort of hormonal injection?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, big time. You can
Yeah.
wear a fake beard.
Oh, don't patronise me.
You gotta shave if you can grow a beard. I don't think it's all you think it is.
But you always
Or
want,
you have a beard. That's the other option.
you
don't-
shave or you have a beard.
Yeah.
I love both of those options.
Anyway,
I just wish I had options.
so I'm sorry that you can't relate.
Can't relate,
to
but he's
Frank.
6 foot, he's 16.
He's 6 foot.
He
He
looks
looks,
old.
looks
Great beard.
older. So he decided to lie about his age. And in those days, driver's licenses didn't have photos, and Frank altered his to change.
But sounds like it's open for distraction.
Stop it. He just altered his own license from 1948 to 1938. So now he's 26 years old, according to his license. Right? So he's getting work that way and he's getting paid a little bit more money, but it's still not making a lot of money.
So he's like, well, I'm going to make myself 96 and then they'll pay me.
That's how it works. He began to cash checks. He did have a bank account that his father had set up for him. So every now and then, like to, just tide himself over, he would cash checks and take money out of that account. But when the money ran out, he just kept writing checks. because people trusted him. Like, he had this trustworthy face and he would just write checks. And they would later bounce, but he'd be gone.
Oh,
Wow.
Pretty clever.
sounds like a bit of a con man.
A little bit. So when the checks did start to bounce, he began to worry that soon the police would be after him. So he was unsure if he should leave the city because he thought it would be more difficult to cash a fake check elsewhere from a New York bank account with a New York driver's license. Like if he's in Miami or if he's in Chicago, are they going to, be a bit more strict?
Yeah.
They'd look into it in more detail,
He's
you
an
know?
out of towner.
Yeah. So you'd probably, there might be a different process or they might look at it differently. So he's like, I don't really know what to do. I don't know how I can leave. Then one night as he's walking home, he walks past a hotel just as an Eastern Airline flight crew stepped out of the building. And as he watched the pilot and flight attendants carry their bags to their car, he thought, I could pose as a pilot. I could travel all over the world for free,
but
and I
of
could probably get
course.
anyone to cash a check for me anywhere.
Starting to relate to this guy.
Because there's nobody you trust more than a pilot.
Oh man, the guy in the flight center commercial.
Yeah, I was thinking of him too.
I love that guy.
He puts the hat on.
Go on
he's,
better.
He's a reference on my all my applications for jobs and properties.
Call the flight center guy, 131148.
Yeah.
He'll know who I am.
He'll know.
Hello, flight center. I'm just wondering about one of your employees, Jess Perkins. Press 1 if you would like to go on holiday to Thailand. Well, this checks out.
It seems legit.
He's for people who don't know, he's a mascot. He's like an ad mascot.
For like a chain of travel agents in Australia.
You really over explain everything.
What Jess has just done there is sort of talk me down a little bit, saying that I'm over, like, trying to explain too much, more than I need to.
But what does explain mean, Matt?
What Dave's done there is asked a question. The question posed is sort of cutting to the heart of what I'm doing right now, which is explaining, and he wants to know a little bit more about that. Jess has sort of just exhaled.
Jess, do go on. Thanks, Jess. I might.
Well, we're all hosting our own episodes separately here.
So the next day, what he does after he's seen these, he's got this stroke of genius. The next day, he makes a phone call to the executive corporate offices of Pan Am and asks to speak to purchasing. So he's transferred through, and when he spoke to someone, he told them that he was a co-pilot called John Black, based out of San Francisco.
Keep it simple.
He told them that he'd flown into New York the day before and sent his uniform to get dry cleaned by the hotel. Well, now the bloody hotel and the cleaners say they've misplaced my uniform.
How old is he? Is he still 16?
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome.
Well, no, he's 26. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. He's also a pilot named Jack Black. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
John Black.
John Black, and I think later it was Robert Black. Like, it changed around a little bit.
But it was always black.
Always black. Always bet on black.
While he was at Pan Am, yes. So anyway, he told the person on the phone that he had a flight in about 4 hours and had no uniform to wear. You know, like, I'm in a bit of a pickle. I've been in this company for 7 years. This has never happened. I'm not really sure what the process here is. What do I do here? Right? And so they're like, oh, have you got a backup uniform? He's like, yeah, in San Francisco, it'll never make it in time. They'll go, okay, hang on, pop him on hold, come back to the phone and say, all right, you've got to go down to the Well-Built Uniform Company on 5th Avenue. They're our supplier. I'll call them and tell them you're coming down. Now, it's going to be an out-of-pocket cost to you and not the company. You know that, right? He goes, yeah, no, I understand. That's fine.
I'll write him a check.
Boom! Exactly. So anyway, he goes down. He gets fitted for a uniform. Everything's done. Salesperson, he goes, how much do I owe you? I think it was about $280. He's like, cool, I'll write you a check. They said, no, we can't take check. And he goes, okay, I'll pay in cash. I went, oh, no, that's not how it works. You need to fill out this form, put in your employee number. It gets billed back to Pan Am and they'll take it out of your next paycheck. Oh. And he goes, great, even better, cool.
Great. I know my number.
Too easy.
No problem.
111 or 11111.
Just before
112.
Before I write it down, just want to remind me how many numbers would be in the number
I
normally.
think there was even boxes. So
Boxes,
you just
great.
Boxes are great.
How good is that?
7. 4. I'm going to put a 3 over here. I just like the way that looks.
It's like he's doing Tats Lotto.
Yeah. Ooh. My mum's birthday's on the 16th.
Yeah, all right. We'll put down a 16.
Yeah. He put 16 in one box.
You fucked
He's
it.
not bright. Anyway, so he's got a uniform now. He's got a Pan Am uniform. Now, New York has 2 airports. It has LaGuardia and Kennedy. And he went to LaGuardia Airport and spent the day there watching how the airport operated, you know, what's going on.
Doing a bit of recon.
He's doing a bit of recon.
Oh, recon.
There we go.
Emphasis on con.
Yeah.
What were you about to say, Dave?
Is he wearing the uniform and just
I think, yes, he
strolling
is.
around having coffee, saying hello to people? Good to see you again, Bruce.
Pretty much, because he was like, all right, I've got this uniform, now how do I get on the planes? So, I know, it's so good.
He's thinking, this is just insane.
It's so great. So he's having some lunch at the airport when a crew from another airline sat down next to him and start chatting to him. And he's like, ugh, fuck. And he gets like, he sort of just fumbles his way through a conversation.
My number is 111, not 11112.
My mum was born on the 16th.
God, he seems legit.
Yeah, my God. That's how us pilots talk.
Yeah. Anyway, one of them eventually says to him, "So what's Pan Am doing out here? Pan Am don't fly to LaGuardia, they only fly to Kennedy."
That's
And he's in
great.
the uniform.
Lesson 1 learnt. So he's like, "Oh, yeah, no, we flew into Kennedy. I'm just out here to catch up with a few friends. Heading back to Kennedy now. Anyway, gotta go, bye."
Gonna roll.
That's good, quick thinking.
No, he's very quick on his feet, and he must be like super confident.
I would just start crying.
I would just shit myself.
Pan Am doesn't come out of here. Oh, you got me. I'm a bigamist. I've been married twice. I'm busted again. Bloody Jonesy.
You got me. I slept in my mother's bed till I was 7. Are you happy?
All right.
I still get night terrors sometimes. Shut up.
I'm a fake. I'm a failure.
Never kissed a girl.
Don't even like coffee. What the fuck is this? What is this? Oh.
First question, you just break.
Just right with it. Yeah. Hello, sir. How are you? Oh, God, you got me. Fuck, I thought this uniform would... But you don't believe me, do you? You don't believe me.
You know I'm only 16 and I got this uniform by pretending that my hotel broke it. Oh, God.
Oh, God, my parents were getting divorced. I just ran away from the baked potato court. Oh, I've just fucked it. I just fucked it.
We love your sense of humour, Blackie. Anyway, you're on the next flight.
Good on
Drive
you, mate.
safe, mate. Here are the keys.
Hit the keys. Off you go.
See you in Las Vegas, mate.
Off you trot. Right, so that's a pretty great lesson to have learned.
That's such a funny thing to...
But then during his recon,
Second recon.
he also notices that everyone has laminated photo ID cards, and without this card, his uniform that he commandeered is basically useless. Like he needs.
Has he just been walking up to restricted areas and they're going, "Do you have your card, sir?" And he
You
just does a
turn.
complete 360. See you in a second.
Oh, I left it in my. Bye.
I left it at LaGuardia. Ooh. I was having a sandwich with friends. Bye. My number is 111 11112.
I was having a sandwich with friends. Bye.
Bye. All right, see you later, Blackie.
All right, catch you later, mate. Hope you had a good sandwich. All right, God, he's a character. I love that guy. He's the best man at my wedding.
If he had an ID card, he'd be on the next flight out of here.
Anyway,
Awesome.
so he realizes he needs an ID card. And you know what he does? He looks in the phone book under identification and calls all of these companies to try and like figure out who makes the Pan Am ID cards. And eventually somebody tells him like, oh, it's Polaroid that do it. You got to contact them. So he gets in contact with the right company. I think it's like a part of Polaroid. Anyway, he tells them he's a purchasing manager for a small regional carrier who were looking to expand, and he asked if he could come by their offices and discuss their systems and pricings. He says, I like this Pan Am system that they've got. I like their format. We're interested in a similar sort of thing. Can I come down and we have a bit of a chat about it? I'm just in New York for the day, so have you got... Like, oh, yeah, sure, come on down. So he goes to their office, and he discusses it with them, and like I was saying, he tells them he likes Pan Am format. He asks for a sample. And what they gave him was this glossy, large piece of paper. It has like, this is a sample stamped across the top. And it's a different photo. It says like Joe Blow as a fake name and stuff.
Damn, why did I call myself that?
Yeah. So,
Should have been John Citizen.
yeah.
Fuck.
So he's like, all right, well, that's useless. So then he says, oh, what's all this equipment that's lying around here? And he's like, oh, well, we don't just make the cards. We sell the equipment to sort of do it yourself. We've got all the photos, we've got the cameras.
Let me grab my checkbook.
We've got the cameras, we've got everything. And he says, oh, okay, yeah. Well, we'll have to buy all this equipment for our upgrades. So why don't you just show me how it works? Just use me as an example. So the guy takes his photo and creates a card for him.
That is so good.
What? Just
So
make
good.
it out to John Black.
John Black, take
make
this
me
photo of me.
look like a... why am I wearing a Pan Am uniform in the photo? Don't worry, just take the
Just
photo.
take the photo. No, don't stop asking questions.
And then, oh, can I keep this sample? And they let him take it.
Yep. Right, it's too good to be true, right? Because it is. He walks out with a Pan Am photo ID, but he realises that where the branding should normally be, there's no, like, it doesn't say Pan Am anywhere. It doesn't have any of the branding, any of that, because obviously it's a sample.
It's a blank.
So he's like, oh, and he's all disheartened. He's like,
He goes back in and says, can you just
Actually-
show me how they put the Pan Am?
no, he does one better. So it's not going to pass as a real deal. He's all disheartened. He's walking home, and he passes a hobby shop, and he goes in, and he asks them if they sell model planes. And the man says, oh, yeah, we do. And he goes, do you sell Pan Am planes? He goes, yeah, we do. So he buys a Pan Am cargo plane for about $2.40, back in his hotel room, throws out all of the parts and retrieves the sheets of decals that are meant to be stuck onto the toy planes.
Little stickers.
Little stickers. Soaks them in a bit of water, and then they fit perfectly onto where they should be on the card.
No. That is
This guy is
amazing.
good.
Isn't that amazing? So it works. It's a perfect ID card. And Pan Am have since estimated that between the ages of 16 and 18, he flew more than 1 million miles for free. 26 countries.
So, but did he not get into the cockpit and then the pilot was like, all right, mate, let's do it?
But
No,
there's also
no.
another pilot that would be scheduled, so...
No, he never flew on a Pan Am plane.
What do you mean?
So what he would do, because he never wanted to, he was worried that somebody would ask too many questions. Maybe they'd also be based in San Francisco and be like, well, I've been there for 20 years. I've never met you.
Never
Where are
seen you
from?"
before. I'm
Exactly.
always in the food court having a sandwich or a baked potato.
So he flew with everybody else. So instead, he'd go to the desks of the other, airlines and ask if the jump seat was free. And the jump seat's it's a spare seat in the cockpit, basically used for that. So like, pilots needing to get to certain places to start their journeys and stuff like that. So he would just go up and be like, oh, I need to get to Chicago. Is the jump seat free? And they'd just sign a little pink slip. They'd check his ID and he'd wander in.
And would he have to sit in the cockpit and
It's in the cockpit.
make small talk with the pilots?
Yeah, but it's the same conversation every time. So once you pick up the lingo, you can bullshit your way through anything. And whatever plane they were flying, he didn't fly that plane. He didn't fly that style. So he didn't have to know anything specific about this.
Yeah, have you
particular
ever had an
plane.
RF-13 give you an AX-22 black?
God, no.
No, I don't. Never touch the things. I fly much larger planes.
Hmm.
I'm a proper pilot.
Or smaller if this is the largest
Is this
out
the
there.
largest you've got?
Isn't that amazing? Don't you think that's amazing?
That is really good.
And he's still a
He's a smart
teenager.
guy.
He's still a teenager.
That is fucking incredible.
And then when he gets to his destination, he'd speak to the desk staff there, and he'd be like, where do we lay over here? Because there'd be hotels that have, partnerships with the airline, and then there'd be like a free shuttle bus or something for airline staff. And he'd go to that hotel, sign in on the airline crew sign-in book, which meant his accommodation and food was charged back to the company.
As Blackie?
Yeah, well, he had like the fake name and fake card, so just use that.
That is someone in accounts going, who the hell's this?
I don't know how they didn't pick up on it, but he got away with it for a long time.
That is 1 million miles.
Million miles from 16 to 18.
Fuck.
Isn't that amazing?
So good.
So good. Now, eventually, eventually though, the FBI released a John Doe warrant for the use of fraudulent checks. So they didn't know his name. They described him as about 30 years old, but they were starting to pick up on his trail. So he's like, no good.
This is Tom Hanks, right?
Yes, Tom Hanks is the FBI. Anyway, I don't entirely understand this bit, but the hotels had an agreement with the airlines as well that they could cash personal checks for them up to about $100. So he would also just get cash out as well.
Oh, he's got it made.
He's so good. But then he also discovered that other airlines would honour that for each other. So every day he'd go to the airport and go to every single desk and
Multiple desks.
and just cash a fake check and take the money. And that would take, it was a huge airport, that would take about 8 hours. What do you get after 8 hours? Shift change, you'd do it again.
Oh, he's pulling a
He has made a
proper shift.
lot of money. Like he's made heaps of money, so he decides, well, I can just hang up the fake uniform and move somewhere and hopefully get away from, the eyes of the FBI who are tracking somebody doing some dodgy things, right?
Right.
So he ends up moving to Georgia. And when he was moving into a new apartment, he didn't want to write his occupation as pilot for fear of being caught, so he wrote down doctor. Cool.
Smart.
Right.
Easy
It's
to
moving up.
pretend you're a doctor.
Yeah, he says he's a paediatrician.
And it's not like in an emergency anyone ever calls on a
No,
doctor.
no.
He looks like Doogie Howser. It's fine.
If you're on, say, an aeroplane or something like that.
Yeah.
Is there a doctor on the plane?
Oh, fuck.
No, I'm a pilot.
I'm a pilot.
I'm a pilot
well, that's
doctor.
okay because the
'Cause-
pilot's taken ill and we need someone to fly this plane. Oh,
Oh,
God.
no.
Did I say I was a pilot?
I don't
meant
fly.
I was a doctor.
I don't fly this type of plane. Oh, no.
I fly model planes.
Oh. Right, so he said he's a doctor. Unfortunately, another man living in the building was a doctor at the local hospital. So Frank has said he's a paediatrician. This guy's a head of pediatrics at the local hospital, right? Like, what are the chances?
I don't do that kind of pediatrician stuff.
And they sort of
Don't go with doctor. Go
No.
small businessman.
Yeah.
Oh, nothing interesting.
drug dealer. Well, no, because he was
Delivery.
he wanted it to be something that justified him. He was driving quite a fancy car. He could
Right,
afford
okay.
a nice apartment.
I
and he was wearing good
own
clothes.
a lot of small businesses.
I'm an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
I created Facebook.
Ever heard of it?
No. Oh,
Oh.
I'm a doctor.
I'm 30, 40 years too early. Anyway,
Anyway, I'm going to be big, baby.
real big. I invented the internet.
Haven't heard of that either. Yep, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm a pediatrics. That's my game.
So the two doctors became a little bit chummy. And then he was asked to help out at one point. He agreed to act as a supervisor of resident interns as a favour until the local hospital could find someone else to take the job. Now, the position wasn't too difficult for him because supervisors didn't do real medical work. He was just sort of overseeing the residents, right? So it's still awful.
But do they still come up to him going, "What did I do, Doc?" Just do what's in your heart, kid. Do
Pretty
what's in your
much. Like, he
heart.
would make them kind of do things. And he was probably a terrible
Doctor.
supervisor.
People probably died, do you think? because
Well,
of him?
he was nearly exposed when an infant almost died from oxygen deprivation because he had no idea what a nurse meant when she said there was a blue baby. He was like, "What do you mean, blue baby?"
There's a blue baby.
Smurf.
Great.
Cool.
Cool, man. We're going to be in the newspaper. First blue baby discovered. Sick.
Cool.
All
I'll be in
right.
the lobby having a coffee. I've started to like it.
Dr. Frank. All right. Okay. He was able to fake his way through most of his duties because he just let the interns handle the cases coming in during his late night shift. Like little things like setting broken bones, stuff like that they'd already kind of learned to do.
All right, so I thought he was doing little things like setting.
he's
I was
not.
like,
He's
oh my
getting
god, because that's maybe little to a doctor, but I couldn't do that.
I couldn't do that. God no. Imagine trying to give stitches. I couldn't do that. Ugh. I can't sew a button on, let alone skin.
Oh, well.
And it's not like you can just whip off to the toilets and Google and YouTube tutorial it
Oh,
like
yuck.
this. Like
Yeah.
how to
I reckon I
stitch
could be a doctor
gunshot
now.
wound.
With YouTube, I could definitely be a doctor.
Have you taught yourself things off YouTube,
Oh, yeah, big time.
such as?
I did
You
one
name
today.
it.
What'd you
name
do?
it.
How to replace battery on key for car.
Car key, maybe?
Key? No.
On
I googled the
on
term
key for car.
on key for car. No results. Google said, "Did you mean?" I said, "Fuck off, Google. I drive this machine." And I
How to
have
replace batteries on key for car.
on key for car.
And you did it?
No,
Okay, great. So
but I know how to. If I ever
you
need
just
to.
unscrew the back of it?
No, there's like some sort of thing you got to pop.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fun.
But
Matt-
I can stitch a wound.
Ugh. Can you think of something?
There's
I
another related videos.
I use it all the time. The
Mm.
classic one, which I think has a lot of hits, is the double Windsor knot.
Makeup. Oh, yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you've probably done that.
How to make up.
How to make up a pilot character so you can get free flights.
There we go. Well, I'll tell
That's
you.
what he was searching.
Well, I'll tell you. Thanks for asking. I taught myself the ukulele on YouTube.
I always forget that when people ask you a question,
They
it's
want you to
probably
ask
because
them back.
I forget
no,
that.
no, I'm kidding.
Now ask me how I am.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Because I'll tell you. I'll tell you real good.
I'll tell you all night long.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Frank, he eventually left the hospital after he realised he could put lives at risk
Oh, so the blue baby really.
by his inability to respond to life and death situations. He's like, hang on, this could potentially be dangerous.
I'm starting to miss the Air Force.
I better stop. So he left. I'm not 100% on the timeline here of when this is exactly happening because it says while he was posing as a pilot still, he forged a Harvard University law transcript and passed the Louisiana bar exam.
Oh, so he did the exam. He genuinely
Genuinely
sat the exam.
passed the bar. Because this is back in the day as well where, because now you can only do it once, or I don't know the exact rules, but back then you could take it an unlimited amount of time. So for him, it was basically about eliminating
Trial and error.
trial and error.
Oh,
So you passed on the third time.
B, 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 C, D, A, B, C, A.
Pretty much. Isn't that strange? So then he was like working in a law firm as well. Again, just like, people asking questions. He's like,
Yeah.
There was one guy.
Trying to sue a doctor for making their baby blue.
Yeah, it's so strange. There's one guy who was a real Harvard graduate, also worked for that attorney general, and he was sort of asking Frank some questions about his time at Harvard, and obviously he couldn't answer the questions about a university he never went to, but he just kind of dodged some bullets, and eventually, about after 8 months or close to a year, he left and went on to do something else.
The other guy.
No, Frank.
Frank.
Frank only did that.
So he's asking questions like, where'd you study? A building.
Yep.
Bricks.
Oh, you were the year of... Oh, I think you were the same year as my friend Carl. Do you know Carl?
I think you're lying.
Yeah.
There was no Carl.
There was no Carl. Was there? You're a thief. You forged a manuscript. You pretended to be a pilot, a doctor, a baby nearly died, and now you're here. Well, I'm telling the boss. Oh, Carl with a K. Sorry, I was thinking C. Oh, no, Carl.
Great guy.
Great guy. Oh, played a lot of beer pong with him.
I should call Carl. Carl died.
Carl died.
I know. I should call him with my Ouija board.
I should call him.
I'm into the occult. You know that. Carl knew that. That's why he died during the Ouija board.
During the Ouija board.
During the Ouija board. I killed him with a Ouija board. I shouldn't have said that out loud. I've got to go.
It's like you were there.
I've got a gift of recreating.
You do. You sure do.
I'm writing down Carl. I think he might come back in.
You wrote it with a C. Remember, it was with a K, mate.
We did say that.
Keep up, Carl.
Now, like all good things must come to an end.
All good things must come to an end.
All good things must come to an end, and Frank was captured. He was actually arrested.
So he's finally kidnapped.
Yeah, yes, he was finally kidnapped. He was actually arrested in France.
Oh, how'd he get there?
On a plane.
Doing his Pan Am.
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't
By
really
this
understand
stage,
the
he probably just
timeline
has
here.
lots of cash, right?
Yeah.
Maybe he just bought a ticket.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, he's got a lot of cash.
Oh, yeah. Was he arrested on the
I mean,
plane?
he was a doctor.
No, he was arrested.
Doctor lawyer. Doctor lawyer pilot. Jeez. His parents must have been so proud.
He's only 23.
I know, he's so young. But, yeah, apparently he was recognised by an Air France attendant that he'd previously dated. And she informed police. I think because it was probably a little bit more obvious now that he was being tracked. Maybe they, at this stage, had figured out who he was. When the French police arrested him, 12 countries in which he'd committed fraud sought his extradition.
Right, so he's travelled a lot.
He's travelled a lot and he's just been frauding it up.
When you were saying
everywhere he
he's
goes.
travelled a million miles, I was imagining just around America for some reason. But he's gone
26 countries as well.
Wow, and he's had a few girlfriends along the way.
Yeah, it seems like he has had a few girlfriends. Because there was also, he got introduced to a lawyer through a girl that he dated. He seems to date a lot of the flight attendants. Which I think I vaguely remember from the movie. Again, I didn't watch the movie ahead of this because I didn't want to...
He was dating the flight attendants to try and fit in as a pilot.
Because that's what the pilots do?
When in pilot, do what the pilot does.
When in pilot.
As Shakespeare once said.
He did say that. Wow, that's a good point. That's my favourite of Shakespeare's work, actually.
Me too.
Matt, your favourite?
For when doth the green grow grey grow,
Green grow, grey
so
grow.
are the bleedy blues. You know, he invented a lot of words. Not all of them stuck.
Jessica.
He invented a lot of colours. Sounds like it.
Yeah.
Green, grey, greeny, blue.
Burgundy.
Oh boy. Just occasionally I have a stroke during a recording session.
Stroke of genius.
Stroke of genius, thank you.
Thank you.
So he's wanted by lots of different countries.
But he's arrested in France,
He's
so
arrested
do they
in
get the
France.
first go at
They
him?
get the first go. So after a 2-day trial, he first served
They
time
get the first slap.
in Perpignan prison.
Oh, well pronounced.
I was about to make a joke, like I'm pretty sure I nailed that pronunciation.
I think you did.
Okay, sweet. I'm sorry to any French listeners. I did not do
Perpignan.
French at school. I'm so sorry.
Perpignan. It's fun to talk like
Perpignan. It's
Perpignan.
nice. It was a 1-year sentence.
Sorry, what was the charge? Did you say that? It was just fraud-based thing?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah. So I think it was a 1-year sentence, but it was reduced to 6 months during trial. So he's 6
When
months.
he convinced them that he was actually the sheriff.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, sorry about that.
All of a sudden, yeah,
Sorry about that,
convinces
boss.
the judge that he's the judge.
I'm-
I think
No,
we're in the
I'm
wrong
the judge.
spots.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
Anyway, the judge is in jail
Yeah,
now. So
Yeah, still there.
Yeah, all right.
have
and
we? Do we know when this is? What kind of period of time is
So
this?
now we're into the early 70s.
1969. So yeah.
The year of Woodstock.
Well, he didn't get to go because he was in Perpignan, in a tiny cell, apparently.
His words?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, but he was
Apparently,
always a bit
he
dramatic,
went in
wasn't he?
there at like 190 pounds, came out at 109 pounds. Like, lost a lot of weight. It was like,
Pounds.
barely had any space.
1 kilogram equals 17 pounds. Is that right?
That seems like way too many.
18.
What? No. What? 17 pounds?
Hang on,
That would
hold on.
mean that 100 pounds is 5 kilos.
Yeah, is
He
that
went
right?
in, a man, and came out the weight of a pumpkin.
Is that right?
I'm
Bloody hell! That is a dramatic. Oh,
I am nothing
Weight
but
loss.
pumpkin.
oh, he became pumpkin.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, 1 kilo is 2.2 pound.
22
So
pounds.
he came out 109 pounds. He was 49 kilos.
Which is lighter than me, and
which
he's
is
6
tiny.
foot tall.
Yeah,
So that's
he was very thin. He went in at about 190,
not-
which is 86 kilos.
he's not as thin as a pumpkin.
He's lost.
So he's probably thinner than a pumpkin, but not as light as a piece of pumpkin. When that pumpkin weighs 5 kilos. Got to put a lot of stipulation on this.
Is that okay, Matt? I'm so glad I stopped to Google that.
No, it is good. Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't
Does that-
actually think.
Does it help you paint paint the picture more?
Yeah, yeah.
Gives you
yeah.
more of a mental image of what he would have.
So
looked
we
like.
went from Leonardo DiCaprio to like a skinny version of
Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
He went from like fat Warnicky to
normal
Warnicky.
To Warnicky.
Yeah.
Warnicky.
Not even fat Warnicky. Like,
For our listeners, Warnicky is Dave Warnicky.
Normal Warnicky.
you went from
To me
86
now.
kilo. Like, if you were 86 kilos, maybe you'd just be all muscle if you were 86 kilos.
A lot of I'd say that is a fairly normal weight, 86 kilos.
And you're not a short man either.
No, but I'm not 6 foot either.
You're not. So somewhere in between. Anyway,
5 foot.
basically what we're asking is, can you
9.
please put on 30 odd kilos
You want
just to see what you look like?
Oh, we'll do.
Thank you.
For the role of Dave Warnicky.
Thank Well, I
I
mean,
was
you-
born to play.
You're mid Twix at the moment, yeah. You've put on a good start there.
I have eaten one piece of Twix. There's one to go.
And he won't give me the other piece, even though he's definitely putting it in the bin.
It's poison. Absolute poison.
Oh,
Would not do
boy.
that to you, Matt.
What a reference. So after he served his time in Perpignan, he was extradited to Sweden, and then it was a trial for forgery. His defense attorney apparently almost had his case dismissed by arguing that he'd created the fake checks and not forged them. Like, no, they're not forged. He made them. I don't know what the difference there is.
I love it. Oh, that's
I
great.
love
And
a
the judge
technicality.
nearly went, I'm confused.
Yeah, so it's like he's swindling, not fraud.
Yeah.
It's still so strange. So he served in a few different prisons around Europe, but eventually, I think it sort of got to a point where he'd served 6 months somewhere and was about to be tried again next in Italy, but a Swedish judge asked the US State Department officials to revoke his passport, and without a valid passport, though, the Swedish authorities were legally compelled to deport him to the US, where he was sentenced to 12 years in a federal prison for multiple counts of forgery.
Oh, dear.
So it's all very complicated, right?
So now he's in,
Basically, everybody's pissed at him.
but now he's in proper American jail for a proper sentence, 12 years.
Well, like the French prison was apparently pretty awful.
Pretty
like,
grim. But it's only a one
super grim, and then Sweden was
smaller
slightly better.
sentences, but 12 years is like, that's a proper,
That's proper jail.
that's a stretch.
Yeah, he didn't serve the full 12 years. He ended up serving, I think, about 5, and I will talk about that in a sec.
Great.
There's a couple of escapes as well. Like he dodged them a few times. Like I think that's sort of what it in the movie it implies that they're always just hot on his tails, but he just gets away. I don't know how accurate that is, but there's a couple of stories that I read about that are like straight from a film where he was apparently in April of 1971 he escaped from the federal detention center in Georgia. This is in his book. He says that during his time in a stroke of luck that included the accompanying US Marshal forgetting his detention commitment papers, Abagnale was mistaken for an undercover prison inspector. An undercover prison inspector, so he's like a fake prisoner going undercover with the prison. So he was like treated better and even got better food than the other prisoners because they thought he was an undercover inspector. I don't know how that happens. Right,
Oh, he must just have a very nice face.
yeah, he's got like a really trustworthy face, obviously.
Maybe you just winked at someone the right way.
One wink
right
and they were
time.
like, oh, double his rations.
But that's it. Everybody's kind of sucking up to him because the Department of Corrections in Atlanta had already lost 2 employees as a result of reports written by undercover federal agents. So, like
Oh, so they thought he was a mystery shopper in prison.
Yes, that's a great way of looking at it. So the prison guards are being kind of nice
Like-
to him.
Hello, sir. Welcome to the shop. I'm in prison.
Yeah,
What can I get for you?
that's pretty much what's happening.
I bet the other prisoner's like, why is he getting more? Let's kick the shit out of him.
It's so good. So he contacted a friend. In his book, he called her Jean, and she posed as his fiancée and slipped him a business card of Inspector C.W. Dunlap of the Bureau of Prisons, which she'd obtained by posing as a freelance writer doing an article on fire safety measures in federal detention centres. She also handed over a business card from, I think, a police officer. Oh, sorry, the FBI agent in charge of his case. And what this is so hard to follow. Then Frank tells the correction officers that he was indeed a prison inspector, and he hands over these business cards as proof. So like a fake business card.
What a time when people just trusted your business card.
I know, it's
Love it.
so amazing, right? And then he told them he needs to contact the FBI agent, the other card that he's given. So they call the fake phone number, and Jean answers, pretending to be an operator at the Federal Bureau of the FBI. So later he's allowed to meet unsupervised with his friend Jean in a... Oh, sorry. Yeah, with... Okay, oh God, it's so complicated.
No, I'm following.
Yeah. So they're like, okay, yeah, you can go meet your supervisor. So they like drop him off. She picks him up in disguise. She picks him up, drives him... Oh, okay. I'm confusing myself here. He's allowed to meet her in a car outside the detention centre. She picks him up, drives him to a bus station. He gets on the bus to New York, then a train to Washington, D.C., and then just kind of like just keeps running. His plan is to head for Brazil. He just business cards, couple of fake business cards.
He
and he's
just
out
went
of
the
prison.
wrong way. He just went north. Brazil's down the bottom, mate.
Well, he's an idiot.
What an idiot. But
Isn't that just kind of insane?
and he's on the run now.
Yeah, he's on the run now. I know it doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm assuming.
Well, no, that obviously...
he did get picked up a few weeks later by 2 NYPD detectives when he inadvertently walked past the unmarked police car. So he got caught, but he got out of prison.
That is awesome.
Isn't that so crazy?
With a business card.
I know, it's so insane. Anyway, in 1974, after he'd served less than 5 years of his 12-year sentence.
It's so, like, I think about that sometimes, like, how unlucky that would be that the cops saw he walked past these cops. But also cops who would be like, hey, that
Hang
guy...
on, I
Like, if
know.
it was me, I'd be like, I mean, there's a million people. Everyone kind of looks a bit like everyone.
Yeah.
I doubt that's them.
Oh, we're
What are
looking
the
for
odds of that is them?
Yeah.
We're looking for a white guy? Okay.
Excuse me, sir, are you a... No, you're not. Sorry to
No
waste
worries.
your time.
I'm embarrassed. You're embarrassed.
Sorry, mate, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Have a dollar.
Right, so what are the chances? Anyway, in 1974, after he'd served less than 5 years of his 12-year sentence, the United States federal government released him on the condition that he helped the federal authorities, without pay, to investigate crimes committed by fraud and scam artists.
Oh.
Right, because
I was working for
Because
them.
he's so good at it. Well, they're not paying him. He's like, you don't work for us, but we'll let you out, and you have to sign in once a week, and you've got to help us with these. So he's like, yeah, that seems kind of good. Anything's better than prison, I guess. So he didn't want to return to his family in New York, so he just left the choice of parole up to the court, and it was decided that he'd be paroled in Texas. So after his release, he tried numerous jobs, including a cook, grocer, movie projectionist, but he was fired from most of these after it was discovered that he'd been hired without revealing his criminal past. Like, he didn't tell them.
Oh, he's just a liar.
Sorry, I just got out of prison, but I really want to show the kids Finding Dory.
Come on.
Let me bag your groceries.
Yeah, you can't even bag groceries.
Can't.
Hey,
Be
your
a cook.
your groceries are really shit. bagging your groceries. In Australia, bagging means...
I knew you were going to do that. Bagging means teasing or
To make fun.
taking the piss.
That's an
Taking
international
the piss
term, right?
means, I don't think it is.
Bagging?
Bagging.
Really?
I don't think so. I think it's us that says bag. I don't know. Maybe I'm being very.
I don't think I've heard other people say it.
Yeah, I think. Stop bagging me. It sounds very Australian. Anyway, he was also kind of bored by these jobs too, so he approached a bank with an offer.
Imagine walking into a bank and just declaring, "I have an offer."
Pulls out a piece of paper, writes a number on it.
Yeah. Or 1111. 1111.
What do you think of these numbers?
What do you think of that?
16 there. That's my mother's birthday.
What do you think maybe his offer was? Besides 1111, 1112.
Maybe he offered to
Was it to, do you reckon?
buy the bank.
He offered to buy the bank. That's the guess from Matt. Dave.
I think, did he offer to maybe work for them like he'd been working for the FBI?
He, in a way, yeah. So he explained to the bank what he'd done and offered to speak to the bank staff and show them various tricks that paper hangers use to defraud banks. Paper hanging is like a word for check fraud, basically. So he tells them, this is what I did, and then his offer included the condition that if they didn't find his speech helpful, that they'd owe him nothing. You know, like if it's not helpful...
Just pay me what I'm worth.
You know, no, if it's not
feel.
helpful, don't pay me anything. But if they do find it helpful, they'd owe him only $500 with an agreement that they would provide his name to other banks.
And then they all rocked up to the talk, but there was no bank anymore. He'd stolen it.
He stole the bank.
I'm a bank.
I
And then
swindled her.
he wore the bank to another city. He's just walking it around like it's
Portable bank.
a new uniform.
What are
I'm
you
a
doing
bank.
here? Banks don't fly out of this airport.
Oh, no! I've been married
Sandwiches.
6 times. Right, so with that, he began a legitimate...
Oh, so obviously it was successful.
Well,
They
it
gave him
worked,
the
yeah.
hunch.
He was still is a security consultant.
Wait, he still exists?
He still exists.
Frank, are you listening to this? Do you Google your name?
Oh my god, he totally would.
Please
I've
get in
watched him
contact.
talk, and like you look at the actions and you watch him talk, and like there's something so arrogant about him.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Is he
Like
He's-
it's an amazing life, but you're still kind of like you're a bit of a dick.
is he quite successful?
Well, yeah, kind of. So he later founded Abagnale and Associates, which is based in Oklahoma, which advises companies on fraud issues. And he also continued to advise the FBI, with whom he'd associated for over 40 years, by teaching at the FBI Academy and lecturing for FBI field officers throughout the country.
Is he getting paid this time?
Yeah, I believe they are actually paying him because it's a legitimate business now.
Does he look at all like Leo?
No.
But does he have a kind face? Can you see why people would trust him 40 years ago?
No, he kind of has a punchable face to me.
Oh, you really
man,
just
you've
liked
turned
him.
on this guy. That's interesting because you normally love everybody.
And did he impersonate an accountant or?
I think I read people very well, actually. And while I think his story is very interesting, I wouldn't particularly want to have dinner with him. You know, you wouldn't have had him at your dinner party. You'd be like, shut up, Frank. You know, I feel like
Yeah.
he's that type. Anyway, he's fine.
Oh God, he's coming around tomorrow night. Should I cancel?
Cancel. I'm busy.
I'm busy.
This guy.
So, just a few things to sort of finish up on. The authenticity of his criminal exploits was always questioned, even before the publication of his book, Catch Me If You Can.
So what do you
wrote a
mean?
book.
So people think that he's exaggerated a lot?
Yeah, they're kind of like, I call bullshit. And a few of his little escape plans and stuff like that couldn't have worked. You know, there's times when people are like,
And then
"Nah,
I hid in
bullshit."
a suitcase for 6 months.
And this example is sort of like what I'm saying when I say he's quite arrogant. This is what I mean. So in 1978, after he'd been a featured speaker at an anti-crime seminar, a San Francisco Chronicle reporter looked into his claims, like looked into his life, and he made phone calls to banks, schools, hospitals, other institutions that Abagnale mentioned, and turned up no evidence. Like nobody could confirm anything. So he's kind of like, well, I smell a rat. But then Abagnale's response to that was, oh, well, I mean, due to the embarrassment involved, I doubt if anyone would confirm that information.
Oh, great answer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
also,
a really
like,
good
fuck
answer.
off, you cocky dickhead.
But has he used several names and aliases? It would be pretty
Yeah.
hard to...
Yeah, so it's interesting. And then even in 2002, he himself addressed the issue of his story's truthfulness, because obviously there would have been a lot of fuss around the movie and stuff like that. And so he posted on his company's website, this is a statement from him, he goes, I was interviewed by the co-writer only about 4 times. I believe he did a great job of telling the story, but he also over-dramatized and exaggerated some of the story. That was his style and what the editor wanted. He always reminded me that he was just telling a story and not writing my biography. So even he's kind of like, yeah, my biography is kind of bullshit.
My biographer refused to be a biographer. He didn't want to be pigeonholed.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a
that's
story.
interesting. So he didn't. It's not an autobiography.
I think he co-wrote it.
Right.
Yeah, but still. So the book Catch Me If You Can was turned into a movie, obviously directed by Steven Spielberg in 2002, with Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. The real Frank Abagnale made a cameo appearance in the film as a French police officer who takes him into custody. So that's kind of fun.
Oh, in Papagnon.
Yeah, and that's another thing. He's like, I didn't want to be in the movie, but they said I had to be. It's like, why the fuck would you have to be? Like, you fucking loved being in that movie.
Yeah. It's
I couldn't.
Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio, they were not the draw cards that they are now in 2002. So
Everybody-
they really wanted me to sell
Everyone's
this
like,
film.
no, I want to see the real Frank.
Make him a French cop.
In fact, they wanted me to play me, but I was like, no, give one of the new kids a
Give
chance.
that guy that's
think
been
it-
around for 10 years. Give that small guy that played a bit part in the biggest film ever, Titanic. Give him a go.
There is something fun about having the real people in those.
Yeah, I
movies.
like it, but it's good if the real person is someone,
Not just some background.
you know? Anyway.
Hey, you reckon? Yeah, in in another Leo movie, the one about the wolf,
The Wolf of Wall
Wall
Street.
Street?
Wolf of Wall Street. Oh God, the Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah, the real guy was in at the
Jordan
end.
Belfort.
I think
is
at
in
the
it.
end he's doing like he's showing that he does speaking now, and I think the guy who introduces Leonardo DiCaprio
Yeah,
as the
is
Wolf of
actually
Wall
him.
Street is the actual Wolf.
Ah,
Yeah, I think you're right.
that kind of stuff's cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
I like that.
Anyway, so he makes a cameo in his movie. The movie was also became the basis for a musical of the same name, which opened in 2011. Now we laugh.
Catch me if you
We
can.
laugh.
Whoa,
it won
whoa.
4 Tony Awards,
Did it?
including Best Musical, Best Actor.
And as he was accepting the Tony for Best Actor, I didn't want to be in it, but they
they
demanded.
insisted I play
They
myself.
demanded.
I quite like this as well. In his book, just to finish on this, is kind of like a nice little quote. So, the former police chief of Houston once said of me, this is Frank writing about himself, by the way, once said of me, Frank Abagnale could write a check on toilet paper, drawn on the Confederate States Treasury, sign it, "You are hooked," and cash it at any bank in town using a Hong Kong driver's license for identification.
A Hong Kong driver's license? Well, that's the bloody icing on the cake.
And who
So
wrote that?
Crazy. Frank wrote that about himself, but he said that a former police chief in Houston said that about him.
As people have often said about me, I am really good, and gee whiz, what a good person I am and good at things.
Good. End of chapter. Next chapter. How good is Frank? Frank.
It's just a story.
It's just a
A
story.
story about the best person ever, me.
So I brushed over a few of the details because I just wanted to get a feel for that sort of story and that amazing life that he had. And he now just runs a business as a normal dude, and he got married and had 3 kids. And
Oh, right, it's not often that we talk about someone who's still alive, is it? I've just realised that.
yeah, he's only 68 or something, I think.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
often the people we
68.
talk about have passed. I suppose some, the Back to the Future people, the Mary Poppins episode, a couple of the Beatles. Okay, Queen Elizabeth II. All right, a few people are still alive. Buzz Aldrin.
MySpace episode.
Yeah, so your example there was wrong.
Maybe I'm thinking of Dyatlov Pass. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but that was the story of Frank Abagnale Jr.
That is a fantastic story, and it makes me want to see the movie again.
Yeah, I think.
With my dad.
But we say this all the time when we do mention movies, and I was like, oh, I'm going to watch that movie, and I never actually do watch it. Sorry, listeners, if you're like, oh, I wonder when Jess watched Titanic. I didn't watch Titanic after I said I was going to watch Titanic.
I reckon that was something that a lot of them would have been wondering.
When did she do it? What was she wearing while she watched Titanic?
That's weird.
PJs, always.
She's wearing them right now.
I am. I'm bloody snug as a bug. Snug as a bug in a rug. Anyway, so, I say, oh man, I'm going to go watch Catch Me If You Can. I won't. I got other shit on. I'm very busy.
Well, that's not true.
I'm so busy. Are you serious? Anyway, let's wrap it up.
Oh, it makes me want to be a con man. It does sound fun, doesn't it?
You're too lazy to be a con
I'd
man.
It's
also
all
like to do-
adrenaline all the time.
I'd like to escape from a prison, but never go to prison.
Okay, there we go. Yeah,
tricky.
that's the hard
I
part.
like it, though.
I'm not sure how to get around that for
I
you,
like
though.
your moxie.
Maybe some sort of.
You would be somebody's bitch within seconds in prison. You would be my bitch in prison.
Yeah, I'm in a women's prison. Oh, there's been some sort of horrible mix-up. And everyone's winking at me. They're like, this guy must be some sort of undercover guy. Let's be nice to him and give him
I
lots
like
of
that
food.
you assume we would still think you're a guy.
I would honestly prefer to go to women's prison.
I reckon because you have to shower together and stuff. I think when you see his little pecker, you will realise.
We'd figure it out.
Maybe it's so small.
What do you mean,
Dave,
maybe?
Hey.
You haven't seen it?
He can't see it.
Well, yeah,
No,
I'm s-
okay. I
I'm-
don't want to talk about Dave's pecker anymore. I'd like to go now. We're all done. Done now.
A peck. Well, before I thank you, listener, we're going to thank Jess Perkins for a fantastic report, and to Ryan, the man, the magic, the myth, the legend that has inspired the topic.
Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks,
suggested it.
Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan. If you want to get in contact like Ryan did on email, the email is dogoonpod@gmail.com.
Yep.
But if you're a Twitter guy or gal, it's at dogoonpod for the handle. And even if you're not doing a suggestion, you can always tag us on Twitter, and if you do a shout out about the episode, if you enjoy this, share it with your followers. That way we get more people on board. And the more people we have, the more the merrier. And but if you're a Facebook person, we're also getting a few messages and comments on our wall, which is facebook.com/dogoonpod.
It's just really nice when you guys check in with us.
It is actually
Yeah, thanks for
it's
that.
genuinely great. And when we read your reviews on the old iTunes and that kind of stuff, that's also very nice as well.
I was being sarcastic.
Why?
It ruins my day.
You don't like it when people check on you?
No, I like it. Hey, I honestly don't know what I'm talking about.
Cool.
It's just nice to have contact with people.
You're not wrong.
Touch me. Oh,
Touch me.
oh.
Don't make that noise when I
That
touch
was
you.
go again. Ah,
That's
yes,
a better
very
noise.
nice.
That's
Great.
a much better noise.
Thank
Yep,
you.
that's fine.
And that's the noise that Matt makes every time our email goes off.
Or every time he sees Dave's pecker.
I mean, yeah, my magnifying glass broke though.
Boom! And I'm
For some
gone.
reason.
Well, I had nothing to do with that breakage. So thank you very much for listening, everyone. We will take a few days off, and that is what we do every week. 7, in fact. Until next Wednesday, well, we will check in with you. Until then, thank you, and goodbye.
Bye!
Laters.